go to a foreign country and help their children, it doesn't matter what their religion or politics are. Everybody gets it, that, you're here to help my kids. That's what this is about.
The VAC is the first vascular anomaly center in Ho Chi Minh City and actually in all of Vietnam. The mission of the VAC is to care for underserved children who are afflicted with disfigurement, birthmarks, scars, and wounds.
We established a clinic in Ho Chi Minh City under the direction of Dr. Hoàng Minh with the mission of improving their quality of health and their quality of life. It's bringing people from different background, age, and experience together from different cultures, the United States and Vietnam, and be able to work together as a team. People can work together for a common purpose, for a common cause, in this case, children.
You have to have good people. In order any kind of NGO that working with foreign institution to operate in another country, you have to find a place where you have good people that you can trust, who are willing to work with the same goals and ideals as you are. And I think in Ho Chi Minh City, there's a lot of people like that. Really is because of Dr. Minh and the team of the people there. Without a good team, this clinic would not have existed. And without our team in Vietnam, there is no way we would have done what we have done. So he is really instrumental, and he wants to really, impact the people around him. And I think people like him are very rare. And if you run into them, you keep them.
So the VAC is the brainchild of Tanya Tran and Tui Phung, both of whom came to the States as non-English speaking teenagers after the war and rose to the very top of their classes and just did super well, and then felt that it was time to give something back to the country that they had to leave.
I do have a special attachment to people of Vietnam, where I was born, and where I would like to do something meaningful to help the people, and particularly the children in Vietnam.
And I really love Vietnam. I've always thought that I wanted to return in some capacity to help, and I could never dream that this was what we are able to accomplish.
Do đó khi mà chúng tôi được đề nghị từ phía các bạn Mỹ về việc thành lập cái trung tâm u máu ở Việt Nam, thì chúng tôi rất là phấn khởi, rất là vui sướng. Là tại vì sao? Là tại vì như vậy là trẻ em ở Việt Nam sẽ được hưởng những cái phương pháp điều trị mới có hiệu quả, và như vậy thì sẽ là cải thiện được cái chất lượng cuộc sống của các em.
The VAC is lifting a little bit of high technology straight out of one of the best medical centers in the United States and transplanting it into a developing country and then supporting it there. And to me, it's a very interesting alternative way to help people in developing countries, is just go straight to the top of technology instead of trying to feed it at the bottom. A good example is something that we came up with here in the lab, where we move epidermis around, so it's a harmless way of skin grafting that doesn't leave scars behind. And this is sort of just starting out, but for people with vitiligo or other conditions, including the P32, where you have to replace the bad epidermis, whether it's missing pigment or whether it has mutations in it from the radiation. That technology was just FDA approved in this country, 2 years ago or something, came from our lab, and almost the same day it was approved in this country, it was available in Vietnam. I mean, how awesome is that?
My contribution was really in addition to Rox's technology, where my research group developed the cooling technology, which is used in conjunction with the laser treatments. And that's helped make the treatments, number one, more successful, but also less painful and with a less incidence of side effects.
All around the world, fractional lasers have changed the way that we handle scars. Vietnam is actually one of the leading places now because we were able to place this technology through good donation from the companies that make fractional lasers into Vietnam, and they're using them very handily, and I think learning things.
We have now expanded our treatment from laser-based therapy to include surgical procedures, sclerotherapy, and medical treatment using the beta blocker propranolol for the management of infantile hemangiomas. We've learned much more than we had expected. I'm certainly very humble with how things have worked out as far as learning much more than I had originally thought from our Vietnamese colleagues.
Bên cạnh mà vấn đề điều trị bệnh nhân thì chúng tôi còn có quảng bá ra rộng bằng cách là các phương pháp điều trị này, bằng cách mở những cái lớp đào tạo liên tục cho các bác sĩ đã tốt nghiệp về chuyên khoa da liễu cũng như là chuyên khoa về nhi hoặc là sản.
So I think the group, an international group that's come together, we've all been involved in the development of technologies and in the research and been able to translate that successfully to Vietnam.
So I think it's possible that the research that was triggered by problems in Vietnam will end up benefiting people around the world with all sorts of things.
And the take-home message of our work is beyond the disease itself or who it is, but about having a passion and a belief in what you can do.
The clinic is making a difference, and it's probably the single most important thing I've ever done. The biggest impact of all that effort and all the things that I've done in my life, I have to say, is helping to establish the VAC.
But you see these kids, and there's one or two girls in particular that just, you can't forget them, They look you in the eye and go straight to your soul. The most valuable lesson to me of this effort is to get off your chair and get out of your daily grind and go do something else. There's just no greater thrill to know that the stuff you do actually has an impact, and to directly get to know people and help these kids with their lives. It's like a chance to fully express idealism and know that the world is a good place. That's the value to me. anyway, that's pretty much what I do, and aside from eating durian.